knowledge. The rocks are the oldest here on Earth, and they hold energy. Just like when you have a crystal, you can, like a lot of crystals, you can feel some knowledge coming from them. Those are rocks. So the Native Americans did teach me that a lot of times when a shaman passes over, or anybody sometimes passes over, they choose to go into a tree or they go into a rock. And they have talked about that for centuries.
Welcome to Free Range with Gail of Gaia. Today, Gail welcomes to the program Thunderbeat, also known as Devara White, musician, composer, sound healer, teacher, author, and visual artist. She does like everything. You're going to love the program.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas and talk to wonderful people. And I am so delighted today to have with me Devara Thunderbeat. And she has done some amazing work in the city of Sedona. And she is an author, a musician, a composer. It just goes on and on. I'm going, holy smokes, a teacher, a sound healer, and a DNA activator. So, whoa, that's a lot, Devara. So why don't you tell us more about your history and how you got to where you are today? And then we'll talk about the wonderful things we saw earlier today.
Okay, my name is Devara Thunderbeat. Yeah, Devara. Everybody gets it wrong, but Devara Thunderbeat. Yeah, I've been a musician for decades. I started in the 80s, I guess, early 80s, and played in rock bands, full drum set for 20 years in New York City.
You are the first woman drummer I've ever known. So I just want to put that in there because women drummers are rare. So go ahead.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing very many. Actually, just maybe one female drummer when I was playing those 20 years. And so I guess I'm a pioneer. That's what they say. So I was really fascinated with how each key activated you or made you feel. So I totally did my own research in sound healing. And now at this time, I became the #1 sound healer at HempPaste Monroe Institute for 10 years running. I've got 5 activational sound healing CDs. Actually, I've got 15 solo CDs, and they're all activational. I do world music. Every time I come back from a sacred site like Egypt or the Mayan lands, and I come home and I immediately write a song, a CD, because I got this energy in my whole mind, body, and soul. And I download some ancient music and I write it. And the Mayan Landing CD was Jose's favorite CD when I came out with that, and before he passed. And very tribal. I won 2 Native American Music Awards for that, Best World Music and Best New Age Music. And my Egyptian Sun CD has won 4 major awards. I wrote that when I got back from Egypt the second time I was there. So I've been busy,
I'd say. Wow.
Been busy. I got Native American CDs. I have to look because I keep forgetting how many I've done through the years. I got them all on my wall here. But I really am honored to do the 22 DNA activations. They are the golden light codes embedded in you, and only 12 people in the country is initiated to do this work. Absolutely. And it's from the Keys of Enoch, and it's with Metatron. Very powerful, and it helps you remember who you are and why you are here.
So those are critical questions that everybody asks, and right. We're always saying, remember who you are. And so that's amazing. Now, this 22 DNA activation, tell me more about that.
Well, they're one-on-one sessions. They're private sessions through Zoom or in person if you live or come to Sedona. You can make an appointment with me, but I can do them all over the world. So they are the private sessions. They're a one-time, lifetime activation. Once you have them done, you don't do any other DNA because you're more than done, as in 22, not just 12. So this will help you remember, like I said, who you are, why you are here, brings in creative ideas you had no idea that you could do almost like instantly. And your knowledge, see, your DNA holds knowledge that you had from past lives. So you'll start getting epiphanies. It takes, the download takes a couple years to get fully activated, because if you did it all at once, you would implode. So, because it's just too much. But so slowly what you'll have is epiphanies going, oh, I don't know how I know all this information, but I do. I never studied it anywhere. And that is your DNA being activated. You get to connect with your spirit guides. Your awareness expands. Your health issues or anything like that is actually removed from your DNA. That's my first step that I do. I repair your damaged DNA, which everyone has from chemtrails and bad foods, bad water. You know? Yes,
we got it all. I mean, we get poison from every direction you can think of, from the air, from the water, from the food we eat. Yeah, and it damages us. It does. I mean,
absolutely. So that helps all that. And I'm, like I said, I'm very honored to do that kind of work, you know. Otherwise, I'm working on all kinds of different projects. I just finished a book called Faces in the Rocks in Ancient Egypt Found in Sedona.
Let me show the picture of the book.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I don't know. Can you read it, or is it backwards? When I see it, it's backwards, but
no, it's perfect. I can see it perfect.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, I found ancient Egypt here in Sedona. Thousands of years ago, they were here, and they have found ancient Egypt in the Grand Canyon, which is 2 hours from here. And the Smithsonian Institute Museum keeps that very hush hush. But I have pictures of the, 1909, they had it in the Arizona Gazette, and I have those pictures, and they're in my book.
Oh, wow.
So that's proof right there. And then I found out that they found Egyptian hieroglyphs in Lake Powell, which is 3 hours from here in Arizona. And in Phoenix, which south of here, see, Lake Powell's north, 2 hours south of here, they found ancient hieroglyphs, Egyptian hieroglyphs in Phoenix, which is, now they call it Little Egypt.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing that they found stuff down there in Phoenix too.
Yeah, so it's all over Arizona, even parts of Utah. They found things in Mississippi. They have found things in Chicago off the Mississippi River. I have done my research on this. You know, I've been working on this for 20 years, and actually the book about a year and a half. Because people said, you got to get that book out. It's amazing. The photos that you have taken show everything very clearly. And I do the drive tour of ancient Egypt and Sedona and Faces in the Rocks. And everybody says, what? They say, it's mind-blowing.
It is. Absolutely. I can attest to that, people, because I've just recently seen this, and it's jaw-dropping is what it is, because you go, oh my God, I don't know if I would have seen it right away, the way, you know, and so you said right over there. And then we have, you know, and you have the different pictures in your book, and sometimes the lighting has to be just right. But there was a lot of times where I just saw it immediately once you said it was over there.
Right.
And so it's absolutely fascinating.
They're hidden in plain sight because people don't look at rocks, you know, thinking they're going to be like statues or something there, but they are there. And I've been trained I'm half a Native American, and my family shamans have taught me about the ancient ones and the faces in the rocks when I was very young. So the way I look at rocks were totally different. And when I got to Sedona, it was like, what? Look at all this stuff here. And I tell people, what do you see there? Rocks. All they always say is rocks. I said, well, look at that. That's a sphinx. They went, oh, I never saw it that way. And now I can see it, So the veils are being erased.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. It really is, because I was seeing it and I was thinking, wow. And there's something that you mentioned about rocks. And you said this earlier today, and it kind of fascinated me, because I was had a Native American husband at one time, and he told me that rocks had spirit too. And I went, what? Rocks? I didn't understand that. Maybe you could explain that a little bit, because I know that, I never heard that before, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, well, they call them the ancient ones. They hold the ancient knowledge. The rocks are the oldest here on Earth, and they hold energy. Just like when you have a crystal, you can, like a lot of crystals, you can feel some knowledge coming from them. Those are rocks. So the Native Americans did teach me that a lot of times when a shaman passes over, or anybody sometimes passes over, they choose to go into a tree or they go into a rock. And they have talked about that for centuries. And so they say that face instantly comes out. So I'm not sure if that's what it is with these rocks. I mean, because there's hundreds of them with faces everywhere in different cultures, not just Egypt here. I just found a whole huge section of Egypt. Then I found Kuan Yin, Ganesh, the elephant god, and kings and queens, dragons, birds. I mean, the list goes on. And they're all in my book. I love it. It just came out like 2 weeks ago, and I'm excited about it. And you can get that at thunderbeat.com. You can take a look at that, and it's only like $22,
Aren't you having a book signing too very soon?
Yes,
in Sedona, if you live in Sedona, they can see you and you can sign their book. So
that's right. November 14th, Sunday, 2 to 5 at Raven's Call in the village of Oak Creek, Sedona, right off of 179. Raven's Call, it's called. It's a new age store. Great book signing, fun. We're going to have other things going on. So, yes. So if you're in Sedona, November 14th, Sunday, 2 to 5.
Yes, you won't regret it. It's a beautiful book. I'm just going to show a few of your pictures. I just opened this one.
Yeah, you can open any page and see.
I know. You start to see the lion things came up. I just knew it would.
Yeah, if you look at, bring it closer. Yeah, and you can see the lion, because a lot of people don't see the lion in the bell rock. They call it a bell. It's a lion sphinx. You got it. Perfect.
Okay. Anyway, the book is full of pictures, and the lighting is just exactly right, because you had mentioned that sometimes, like the lion one in the village, you don't see it until later on during the day. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, it never comes out. Usually comes out about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If you see it before or even like way after that, you go, how can that be the lion? I swear I saw it, and I have pictures of it. So a lot of pictures of it, but before it doesn't look like anything. It's the lighting. It just hits it just right. So yeah. And if you go out in the morning, you see something like a whole different world. Then you go in the afternoon, it's like, wait a minute, all the other faces are gone and new ones came in.
Where did I go? That's funny. I was also rather fascinated by, and there's a number of people I know that have that would be interested in this, and that's Dragon's Palace.
Oh yeah. I don't talk about it very much, but it's on my tour. I do also a drive tour. I show some secret things. Okay. So I really don't want to talk about that on this show, but there is dragons here. I found them scattered throughout Sedona. Some of them are in the book. Absolutely.
I remember seeing the Dragon Palace. That's what it just stuck out.
I know. I showed you on the tour.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you want to see the Dragon Palace, there's people here that's lived here 22 years. And they go, oh my God, where is that? Where is this? Where is that? I have never seen that. Where is that located? And
it was a Dronvalo Melchizedek. I always have trouble with that name, but anyway, the land of the ancient one. He made the quote. Is that okay if I read that?
Yes. Oh yeah. You can talk about that.
Devara showed me.
Devara.
I don't know why I do that.
Devara. Remember that B with a V.
Ra. Emphasize Ra, right? Showed me Osiris, an ancient Egyptian god in Sedona, Red Rocks. I saw him immediately. I've been here for 22 years and never noticed him before. So she pointed him out to me. Amazing. And that's exactly how I felt too. It was amazing because he works with Osiris at the Flower of Life Temple. And I said, this is why you were drawn to live here, because that energy is here too. And he goes, oh, interesting. And it was just fun to tell him all that fun stuff, Yeah. So he saw it immediately. He went, wow. Yeah, I've been here 22 years and never saw that before. So it is amazing. Because I really feel I was drawn here too. So there's some kind of connection I'm working on as well. But you also have a lot of sound healing. Why don't you talk about that too?
Yeah. Well, I designed activational sound healing CDs. They're actually sound healing tools that healers can use. I designed them for healers and for people to be activated. I have an Ascension CD, a 12 DNA activation CD, a Chakra CD. It was #1 in the Monroe Institute and actually throughout the world for many years. And that is a whole series with a chakra journey DVD, color, light, sound, because they all go hand in hand. The CD is sound activation and the DVDs are color, light, sound. So, and I have a Heart Chakra CD, which is very interesting. It's not just the heart. It starts with the heart, but it goes through all the chakras, okay? And I received this information when I was in the Mayan lands, okay, the ancient Mayan lands, and I was in the pyramid. And I brought a group there and I did the regular chakra journey activation for the group. It started with the root chakra up to the crown chakra, all 7 chakras. And the second I was done, a Mayan elder spirit came in. No one could hear him but me. And he says, we start with the heart. And I went, oh, that's very interesting. The heart is the center of the chakras. Yes. And I asked him the order of the chakras. Tell me how the order is. Where do you go after the heart? He goes, chakras. We call them chakras instead of chakras. It's very powerful and very direct.
Wow.
So he told me the order, starting with the heart, then going to the solar plexus, then the sacral, then the root chakra. Then goes back to the heart, throat chakra, third eye, crown, and then you start the CD again. It goes back to the heart. Makes total sense because at the center is the heart, and they talk about the heart with the Mayans, and there's a lot of lies that they talk about. Well, they ripped the heart out and all this. Oh no, that's all. It's a whole different story. Let's just put it that way. But this is the Heart Chakra CD, I call it, because it starts with the heart, and it's very centering and actually more grounding. The other one is actually really brings you up to it's more like for Kundalini. My other chakra CD called Chakra Journey. Actually, I have a copy of or cover of that.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Yeah. The chakra CD, and then I don't have anything else really handy to show. I wasn't really prepared to show my stuff, but anyway.
Okay.
So I do, yeah. So I have that, and I have. I'm looking here: Ascension, 12 DNA. So a five sound healing CDs. I have actually a virus removal CD, which is Rife Frequencies. It's all on my website. And you can do downloads at SiriusStargate.com, which is SIRIUS, like the planet, SiriusStargate.com. You can listen to them all for free for a couple times. And if you like, you can download them very inexpensively. So there you have it, you know.
That's awesome. And isn't it like now at this time, we need to concentrate on the heart and concentrate on healing. Humanity is going through a transition, and there seems to be a great deal of pain as a result of finding out things that we never expected. Let me put it that way.
Right.
And these kinds of tools are available for healing. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Plus, you know, releasing the old and all the negative energies and the fear, you know, that's what they're doing to keep us down. Fear is the opposite of love. Okay, remember that, because a lot of people think hate is the opposite of love. No, fear is the opposite of love. So to raise your frequency, these CDs, all my CDs and all my music does that. It raises your frequency, step out of fear and to be who you are, and see clearer and not be so depressed and, you know, and scared, you know, because fear, don't forget, is the opposite of love.
Yes.
Opposite of love.
That's kind of what got us in where we are in a lot of ways that have, I got to be careful what I say because I want to put this on YouTube. But the fear has created a situation where people are doing things that they wouldn't ordinarily do if they weren't in fear, because we are immortal beings. And we don't know what our real power is.
That's right. Yeah. That's why the 22 is really good. Step into your power. And, you know, turn that TV off. It's all doom and gloom. I mean, 90% of it, look at the movies. They're all war, hate, I'm going to kill you. You know, that's all fear and mind programming of negative. You know, I've noticed the last 10 years, children think of death as nothing, you know, of killing somebody because of the programming of the TV. And I mean, if you look at like, okay, what's on tonight, the first 12 movies, I'm going to say 11 out of the 12 are negative. They're all doom and gloom.
Right.
Why? And they say, oh, people like that. That is a lie.
Yes.
Lie. Big lie right there.
Well, I think we've been lied to our whole life about very many things, and the lies are starting to be revealed, and people are sometimes having a little cognitive dissonance as a result of that. But that's where your healing tools, I think, would be very helpful for people. Now, even with children's movies, have you ever noticed, like in a lot of even the Disney movies, they frequently have one of the parents dies or is gone or has abandoned them or something like that. That's very common, not to mention some of the other symbols that are in there, but I don't want to go there. But it really is. We've just been bombarded with that, and it's programmed our mind in negative ways. And we need to come out of that and be the true human being that we're capable of being.
Right. Well, they didn't lie to us, the dark side, I'm going to call them. Right in the beginning, they said, your program will begin after these messages. And they still use that today. But no one picked that up. But I said, is anybody listening? They're telling you right straight to your face, your program will begin after these messages. And they still
That is so true. I never even thought of that. That's amazing that you just enlightened me on that one. I mean, I already knew about the programming being in there, but that very statement, I've heard it so many times, it just didn't even register.
It's like normal, you know, but they're not lying to us on that one.
Yeah, it's always hidden in plain sight too, just like you said about the things in the box and so on. It's right there. Right. I mean, sometimes you don't see it right away, but or even hear it right away. But there's another thing that you talk about, and you have a book on that says that's Look Up. Is that a book?
Yes.
Yeah. You want to talk about that one a little bit?
Yeah. Look Up is it's called Look Up: My Encounters with ETs and Angels. And that is a book I wrote about my encounters. I started having contact at 4 years old. I was brought up into the ships. Well, the first one was when I was playing in the driveway. It was broad daylight, and I was 4 years old, and I call them ships, a UFO ship came over. It was cloaked in a cloud, and it started pulling me up, and my mother ran out of the house trying to catch me, and they pulled her up too. That's where the story begins, and they've been in contact with me throughout my whole life. So, and they're positive. There are no grays on, there are no reptilians, and there's no dark entities on there. They're all high frequency light beings.
Sirius beings from Sirius?
They're from Sirius. And people go, "Why were you chosen?" I'm like, I wasn't chosen. I chose to come here on a mission. They were just reminding me my mission at 4 years old. And what was interesting, since I'm half Native American, when they put me in the room, they actually put me on a table and rolled me down this hallway. This is 4 years old, and I was passing by. Remember these open arch doorways, and each room had a different color. So they work with color, light, and sound also. I think that's where I get my knowledge from. And they put me in one room and shined golden light onto me. And they said, "Your name is Flying Eagle with many wings." And I said, when I got back, I said, "That sounds Native American." So I asked one of my, when I got older, I asked one of my uncles, he's a shaman. And I said, "They called me Flying Eagle with many wings." I said, "And they're the star people." He goes, "What do you think we get our names from? We get them from the star people."
Free Range with Gail of Gaia and Free Range Productions is proud to partner with C60evo.com, makers of ESS60 products. C60, the carbon-60 molecule, delivers more than 172 times the power of vitamin C as an antioxidant. ESS60 is simply the purest form of C60, a known antiviral, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory remedy that not only works, it is the only C60 molecule that is approved for both internal and external use. ESS60 neutralizes free radicals from cell metabolization and external toxins to help minimize inflammation and maximize detoxification. People report better sleep, more energy and flexibility, and renewed mental clarity when they take ESS60 products. For more information, visit ess60.gailofgaia.com. That is ess60.gailofgaia.com. Free Range with Gail of Gaia is honored to be affiliated with MyNutra, makers of HempPaste. HempPaste is a whole food product that still contains most, if not all, of the terpenes, phytonutrients, essential elements, and CBDs of the raw hemp plant. CBD oil manufacturing methods strip away living essential elements, leaving only one, a dead CBD oil. CBD oil alone simply cannot support the entourage effect that occurs when HempPaste's essential nutrients go to work to support your optimum health. Almost 200 terpenes and over 500 other phytonutrients work together with a synergistic effect that simply doesn't happen with CBD oil alone. Visit hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com to learn more. And be sure to check out the impressive array of hemp-enriched products while you're there. That website again, hemppaste.gailofgaia.com. That's hemppaste.gailofgaia.com.
What do you think we get our names from? We get them from the star people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And did you remembered this from very early on? Is that correct?
I remember bits and pieces, and I was always wondering what the full story was. And I finally met up with Dolores Cannon. She does the hypnotherapy. Yeah. So she was talking about the ETs. I knew her for many years, but she never talked about ETs. She and then one time I'm always performing at these conferences, and she was speaking, and she was talking about the ETs, and I said, "Oh, I have to get a session with you. And she was booked up for a year. And so I did get the session with her. It took a year to get the session with her. And that's when I found out the full story, not just of one, of many, because I did have a lot of missing time, they call it, and things I didn't remember. I knew something happened, but didn't remember. So we went through a few different situations. And that's when I remembered, they called me Flying Eagle with many wings. And then the Andromedans had picked me up also. And they told me about situations about that. And yeah, they're all in the book. I mean, there's lots and lots of stories, and it would take me hours to read that. It's fascinating. And people love the book. The people that have bought it, they always say, I can't put it down. Oh my God. And this is so fascinating because I have so many different kinds of stories of experiences that I experienced that are all positive. Because all you hear about the doom and gloom stuff all the time,
Right, or our negative ET encounters where they take you up and do nasty things to you too. So
right. Never had that done. No, not that I remember. How's that?
Okay. Well, seeing all the things that you have created, it doesn't look like that would not come from negative beings.
No, definitely not. So I'm finding out my star family Sirius A. Now, this is not B, because everybody talks about Sirius B, and there is a Sirius C. So Sirius A is the sun, and they do live inside the sun. They've actually brought me there. In 2013 was the last time. So it's in the book.
People would think you would burn up. You want to address that?
Yeah, it's not what you think. The sun is not what you think. At least Sirius A sun is not what you think. They said it's... When they explained to me, I had no idea how to understand it. But I mean, they said, no, you don't burn up. So it's not it's not hot, and it's not fire. It's not fire.
Okay. Well, now, does Sirius A and Sirius B, do they get along? They're different beings, I understand.
Yeah, there's different beings and different densities, it's called. Sirius B is a lot denser than Sirius A. Sirius B is like where the water and dolphins are from, the heavier density beings are from there. Yeah, and there's different kinds. See how everybody goes, oh, what kind of beings, what do they look like on Sirius? And thinking like there's one kind of being. No, I've met like 6 or 7 different kinds of beings on Sirius A. They've told me I've never seen them, but they've told me there's probably about 15 different kind of races on Sirius B, and probably about this is all they told. I've never experienced this, but they told me about 8 or 9 different species on Sirius A. So I'm sorry, Sirius C. So I've met.
I've never heard of Sirius C.
Yeah,
yeah.
And funny, I knew about it when I was very young. I said, "There's a C." Everybody looked at me as I was crazy, but NASA has finally discovered it. I'm not sure when, maybe 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. So, but do they both or all 3 of the Sirius planets? Are they all a duality, or are they something else?
Yeah, there is duality there, males and females. Absolutely, there is. You would think, a lot of people say, oh, in your higher dimension, they're about 6th to 7th dimension all beings on Sirius A, and they are male and females there. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And the beings there I met were bird beings. There was this one, his name was Salu, and he had white feathers for hair. He had golden triangles for eyes, and the triangles pointed down and they glowed. And I've met pink beings. They have a shape similar to the grays, but they're pink. They're not gray. They're pink. And then I met golden beings. They were just full of golden light. You couldn't see their face. They're just pure golden light. And my mother was there. I said, because my mother passed when I went there. She passed in 2009. I went there in 2013. I asked about my mother, and I cried because she came in and she was beautiful. She had surrounded with golden pink light,
Wow.
And she says to me, she goes, the only reason I came to Earth was to bring you in. And I had rivers of tears just go down my face. And
you're on a mission, a very important mission to help save the planet, I would assume.
Well, to help make it right, I guess, or bring in the positive and help the people, help the planet. Yeah, that's my mission. That's what excites me and keeps me going. Otherwise, I'd be bored.
Definitely. Now, when you were describing these beings, do they have? You described mostly their head. Do they have a humanoid type rest of their body? Or
yeah, the bird beings had human bodies, and their pink. Their skin was kind of pinkish too, compared to our tan. But all human kind of bodies. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I got another question. In the higher dimensions, and there's duality. So the dimension doesn't necessarily mean that it's good or bad, or how does that work? Can you?
Yeah, it's like you could take a healing device and use it for bad or use it for good. So it's up to the being's choice how to utilize things. Mm-hmm. But usually in a higher dimension, very high dimension, that they don't even think that way. Like, for instance, even in the 6th dimension, that's what they were in, and they brought me to there, and I said, I made them laugh, actually, and they said, oh my God, I can breathe here. And they don't use the oxygen, okay? The higher frequency, they all laughed. And I didn't feel, and there was no fear, there was no hate, there was no negativity. I mean, it's hard to describe, but it was completely gone. And that's why I felt lighter, happier, and like, I'm just relieved of the heaviness. There wasn't this heaviness there, it's the best way I can explain it. And they told me all kinds of things about the planet Earth. And like I said, it's all in my book. It's a lot of information in there that makes people just feel good, and hope, that more than hope, it's like, because all they talk like on this planet is the negative beings. And this is one of my missions, is to bring in the light beings and talk about who they are. And they even thanked me. They said, thank you for letting them know about us.
Oh, well, so much of what we hear about, even some of the beings that we saw today that are in the rocks, there have been some very negative things that have been said about them. Some of them, anyway. Right.
Well, the negative dark side wants to cut down the good. They don't want them to succeed and to be, they don't want that. So they want to control everything. So.
Did they tell you give you any information about what they call the galactic wars in the past, or or where that is now? Or
no, they didn't talk too much about that. They talked about more like the planet Earth. Excuse me, as in they showed me actual movies or whatever, pictures that they said, well, this is how we see the Earth, and it was full of dark, smoky clouds. They said, I saw it. They said, this is the way we see the Earth. And we don't see pictures like that, maybe because they're hiding it. There's so much pollution on it. And they said, if we did not clean up the Earth, it would be a planet and it would look like this. And they showed me a piece of black charcoal.
Wow.
Yeah, it would have been a dead planet. So they are here helping and making sure we don't destroy ourselves. They dismantle the nuclear weapons, they've told me. They said they want to make sure that we don't blow ourselves up like other planets have done. And so they are, but it is a free will zone, so they only can help. They will only help like making sure that we don't blow ourselves up and destroy everything. So that's the only time they really come in, because it's a free will zone. Free will zone, it means you're not allowed to interfere. There is a karmic thing going on, And I want to mention that some people go, oh, there's no karma anymore. No, they're sorry. That's a lie. That's the dark side telling you more lies. Okay.
So what made the Earth, planet Earth, and humanity turn so negative? It is my feeling that it was not originally meant to be that way.
No, absolutely not. The negative groups came down to control the masses, negative Orions. There's positive Orions and negative ones, and they came down with Lucifer, and they just wanted to control everything. And there's lots of long stories about Meldeck and the planet there, the beings from there. So that came down, Marduk. Anyway, that is really a long story. That would take like an hour. I'd rather go into just telling you, you're answering your question of, yeah, the dark ones came and they like to control everything because they think that's power. And it's not. It has nothing to do with power. Control is not power. You know, they're still in the delusional mindset of what they think controlling and power is. So you know, one day they will wake up. I mean, they will. I call it grow up.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, they're like little misfit children, you know.
Well, I appreciate your telling us that, and we maybe at some other point, if we ever wanted to, we could tell that story.
Yeah,
and if you think it would be beneficial.
Oh, absolutely. It's just yeah, that would be a whole section of its own, or a whole show or something. I'd like to focus on that because there's a lot involved and very fascinating. Very, very fascinating.
I think we should do that just because people would like to know. And that goes into the whole story with Enki and Lil as well, doesn't it? Or is that a totally different one?
Yeah, no, that's the same family. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
we'll have to do that because there's a lot of misinformation about that too, the way I understand it. So.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. I'd like to straighten that one out.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. We'll do this again. I think, and you have so many very helpful materials for people, and I think if we make them more aware of that sort of thing, it's a good thing because we need healing on the planet, and
absolutely.
We need that open heart chakra as well. And, you know, that's the first time I heard, you know, start at the heart, go down, come back to the heart, go back up. So that's pretty interesting too.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes all kinds of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the ancient, that's a lost, I guess, knowledge thousands of years ago. That's what they used to do in the Mayans, you know. Fascinating. And I said, that makes so much sense. And that's why I did the CD. It's on my website, Thunderbeat, BEAT.com. You can see it, or go to SiriusStargate.com and you can listen to it, you know, and download it.
And I will put it in the description so that people, you know, hear the video.
It's real important to hear it, and then you'll feel it right away. So.
Wow. Okay. Is that the one that's called One Heart, or is that a different one?
One Heart is Native American shamanic journey. Every CD I do is totally different. Totally different.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
That's why no record company wants to sign me because, well, you got so many different kinds of genres. Where would we put you? And you should change your name for each one, they said. I said, nope.
It's an eclectic combination of
so like a tribal, very tribal. The Mayan landing is very tribal. Then it brings you up to a higher frequency of galactic. It's very galactic too. The Egyptian sun is very danceable, belly dance, fun, but it has the ancient melody lines. I have a Cosmic Awakening CD that definitely do not drive with that one, because that you go out of your body, you totally ascend with that one. Very high frequency. It's totally space music.
Cosmic Awakening? Is that one? Is that one?
Cosmic Awakening, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cosmic Awakening. And you'll raise literally, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that one I was funny how when I wrote that one, it seemed like it came out of nowhere, but I knew what I was doing, and I finished it, and it was hard to mix because I have a recording studio. It was hard to mix because I kept leaving my body. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get this done, and it took me longer than normal, like to finish that CD, and I was a little frustrated trying to get it done. But the second I finished it, I was all alone in my recording studio, and I just yelled out loud. I said, okay, I'm done. And I heard all of a sudden, all these people cheering. Yay! I'm like looking around going, what? They said, this is your star family. They said, you wrote that before you came to Earth. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I said, and that's what you're cheering about? They said, no, we are cheering about that you brought the highest dimensional music down to the third dimensional planet. That's what they were cheering about, that the highest frequency music, bringing it down, that it actually could be brought down here, because they said that was accomplishment. So Cosmic Awakening, check it out. Don't drive with it. Trust me, you'll miss your exit. I'm not kidding.
So that would be a great way to raise your vibration as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And after you take that journey, you'll feel different. You'll be floating. You'll feel like you've released a lot of heaviness and pain. Even helps pain. I mean, a lot of my CDs actually release pain. Pain, emotional issues. Oh my God, it goes on. I have testimonies on my website where this one lady, she had back pain for years. She went to many, many doctors, nothing worked. She tried chiropractor, nothing worked. And she goes, you're my last resort. So I did a healing session on her and she calls me like in 2 days. She goes, my pain is gone. My pain is gone. I said, really? I said, well, let me know like in the next month or two if it comes back. She calls me every month. She said, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. For 3 months, she's called me. And I was even kind of shocked because like, I didn't know I could do all this myself.
Well, that's fascinating. So yeah. When you do healing sessions, sound healing sessions, do you use drumming?
Sometimes it's more activational tones and tuning forks, and I usually do groups. I like doing groups. I've actually done up to 300 people at one time. Wow. And they have to be in person. The sound healing sessions have to be in person, but the 22 DNA activations can be through Skype or through Zoom. So that is totally different. And I send you a soundtrack that you use, a chakra balancing soundtrack that you actually use on your own at home after the session. So that works out perfect. But I love doing group sound healing. I can do, if people have retreats, they can, in Sedona, they can bring their group over. Here I have a place where I can do it, activational sound healing for everybody at once. And I give messages too for each person.
Wow. Yeah. That's fascinating. So do you have anything of that nature coming up anytime soon that people might like to know about who are here or could plan for any future session?
Well, let's see. I just finished a series of activations. Just released the book of the book signings I'm doing now from focusing on that. But yes, in April, every year I do a Cosmic Awakening conference, and we have speakers. It's a 3-day conference. Next year, it's going to be April 22nd, 23rd, 24th in Sedona, Arizona, and it's SedonaCosmicAwakening.com. We're working on some more speakers now. We got 3 days of high frequency stuff. I do the activations there. On the third day, we do workshops, and I do the activations on the third day. I have probably 12 to 15 speakers that are just amazing. A lot of people from the Secret Space program. I got people from, I got, what's her name? Elizabeth, Elise. Okay. I don't have my list in front of me, but we have a lot of high frequency people that are talking about, life and what to do now. And people always comment, the people that come, they go, "Oh my God, I met my star family here." So it's a high vibe conference, definitely. It's fun.
Actually, Sedona itself tends to be a very high vibe place, or potentially so, from all the different vortexes and energy centers and so on and so forth. So it is a really wonderful, I feel very energized here. I really do. But every place can carry some dark energy too. But I think generally speaking, it's pretty upbeat, and I really appreciate that a lot. So I was thinking, if you would like, we could do another session another time, do it live, and people could ask you questions. Would you be open to that?
Oh, I would love that. That would be fun. Absolutely.
That's awesome. We'll definitely do that then. And I'll be back in touch with you. And we've gone on for, I think, about an hour now. Is there anything else? I want you to mention your website again, and a couple of websites, and your new book and your signing. And just go ahead and bring that up again, so people know.
Yeah, well, they can check all the things out. I do retreats too. If you want to organize or bring some friends for a retreat, you can. But check out my website, Thunderbeat, BEAT, thunderbeat.com. You'll see all the information, all the sessions I do, my Egypt and Sedona tours, my books, my music. So you can email me real quickly through that website if you have any questions.
And your music and download store is the Sirius Gate. Is that correct?
SiriusStargate.com. That's it.
Okay. And this is her book that you'll be having a signing. Can you see that? I can't tell if you can see it exactly, but
you can. There's the Sphinx. There's the Sphinx right there.
Yes, it's fascinating. I mean, it is jaw-dropping. It really is. When I saw some of the faces, I'm going, wow. And so anyway, it's definitely...
you took the tour today. Yeah, that was fun.
It was great fun. I enjoyed it tremendously. And it takes you back. You go, whoa, wow. So I would highly encourage you to check it out if you're in the area. And if you're not, if you're ever here, definitely check it out. So in closing, we will see you again. And I want to thank you so much for taking the time to show me some of this, and also to share your story with my listening audience.
Oh, thank you so much, Gail. You're so awesome.
Thank you.
Keep the good work going.
Okay. Thank you so much. We'll stay in touch. Thank you. I'm so happy I met you. Thank you.
Yeah. Blessings.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll stay.